Welcome to episode 76 of Tools in the Hall. First, we're going to start out with the Savage A40 welding helmet. This thing is the bee's knees. The best part about this is the quality of the headgear. It's beautifully lined, it's super comfortable, it's going to absorb some sweat, fully adjustable in the back. You just push the adjustment button knob and you turn it and adjust for the circumference of your head. Inside, they have your settings easily accessible on the full display that's in there, and that's your sensitivity and your delay settings. On the outside, you can switch to grind mode if you want. It has 4 sensors, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that is going to increase its sensitivity so that you have a less chance of flashing yourself with the arc. Because if you're welding away, and let's say your helmet only has 2 sensors, for example, it's entirely possible for you to throw a shadow over one or both of those sensors and flash yourself. This one, you minimize that by increasing the number of sensors. It's in a striking yellow color, so if it matches your personality, or if you just want to be able to see it easily when you put it down somewhere, this is it. Savage is from, Esab and Firepower are the same company now. I think Esab bought them quite some time ago. So a lot of welding stuff that was in the Firepower line made it into the Esab line, and Esab has always had good welders and welding equipment, and this helmet is among them. They have a version of this in black as well, and then for like a few $100s more, you can buy swankier versions. But for $200, this one is one of the more comfortable ones to wear if you're going to be welding for extended periods. I would put other welding helmets on a pretty high pedestal. The ones from Miller, for example, the ones from Jackson, and Esab has their Sentinel helmet, which is just probably the best one I know of on the market, as it's been told to me from guys who weld a lot. If you've had experiences with different brands of helmet, please let me know what that has been, because there's a lot to choose from, and the more information we can share, the better off we're all going to be. Oh, and something I forgot to mention about the helmet. In the one reason my customer wanted this particular helmet was because he wanted a true color view through the visor, and this one provides that. You don't see that on all models, and the brands he told me about that have it, he was going to have to spend way more money. So he was happy to spend a couple $100 on this helmet that gives him exactly the features he was looking for. I got a pretty long tool here. Get your mind out of the gutter. From Milwaukee, this is their hood light, 1350 lumens. It extends from 48 to 78 inches. And with this hood light, you really have to take the good with the bad. And I'll tell you exactly what that is as soon as I put this down. The good, very reliable lights. More reliable than a lot of the other hood lights that I have sold and have seen from other brands. It lasts a long time. It's versatile. I like the fact that you can unclip the light from the bracket, and it has, I think, octagonal pieces on either end, so you can set it down, put it under the car, shine it up if you wanted to when it's on the lift. So it's got some versatility to it, and it has a lot of longevity. And it's not that expensive. When you compare it to other hood lights, it's, I think on the tool truck, it's like $225, I think, for the light by itself. There's a promo right now where if I get the light, I also get a battery with it. So for $225, you get a light and a battery, which is great for most people. You're saving money off the cost of the kit because most people already have chargers. The bad is that it can only run on battery. There is no corded option with it. So it's not like you can just leave it plugged in to use it all day. You'll either have to remember to keep turning it off when you're using it or replace the battery a few times during the day. So you have to choose your poison on this one. Overall, I think it's a very good value for the price and for the durability. And if it were me buying hood lights, I would opt to buy this one over a lot of the other brands because of that durability. I've had to take care of a lot of lights under warranty that have crapped out within the first year. I have seen other people with other brands of tool lights that have had the same issue. These have 5-year warranties on them, and I just took care of one last week for a customer whose whose light just started conking out about the 4.5-year mark. So he's in the warranty period, and we're getting that taken care of for him pretty quick. But that's, I think, the only one I've ever dealt with, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't recall off the top ever sending a Milwaukee hood light in for service of any kind, in or out of warranty. So I'm a fan of the light for that reason alone, but I think there's a better value here when you compare it to the cost, warranty, and longevity of some of the other brands. Next is a creeper from K-Tool. With a headrest and a contoured body that gives you extra support, I like this creeper over the Lyle plastic creepers, the Jeepers Creeper brand, and you've also seen that same creeper branded for Mac, Cornwell, and Matco. Matco has a proprietary caster on it. It's more like a skateboard wheel. All the others come with a 2-inch black plastic caster. I like the K-Tool one over those for 2 reasons. Number one, this has a higher weight rating, and there are plenty of fellows I know that can take advantage of that. Also, it costs about half of what the Lyle creepers cost. Now, the Lyle creepers have a lifetime warranty on the plastic deck only. They do not have a warranty on the headrest or the casters. The K-Tool one has a 1-year warranty. So you're going to have to weigh that. Is the cost of it worth not paying into a warranty that you may or may not ever use? And in a case like these plastic creepers, anything really, you're paying more for a better warranty. That's the company's way of hedging their bets as to whether or not they're going to lose money in the long run. And if they charge enough for it, then they'll make enough that it's worth it for them to give out new ones to replace broken ones under warranty. So it's just the way they play that game. Again, if this were me, save the money up front, get the K-Tool one. I can sell you the Lyle ones too if you want it. I have other brands as well from, there's a few different brands of creeper that I have access to. Some of them are the more rigid type that have the metal rails down both sides. Some have the adjustable headrest on them. But for a plain, basic plastic creeper, I would recommend the K-Tool one because of the cost savings alone. The quality is just as good as anyone else's. Just don't run it over, and chances are it'll last you a good long time. Why am I showing you one single bag of Jack Link's beef jerky? It's not because we got a new order in. No, I would show you a case of those at a time. The reason I show you one bag is because I just want to talk about how good Jack Link's is at standing by their product. They have a date on here for spoilage, and it is good until May 17th of 2025. They put that on a sticker on the bottom there. They emboss it in the plastic. They stamp it in there. And I had a bag that had gone bad. There was some white mold that had formed on some of the pieces in there. So what do? We contact Jack Link's because we buy it from them directly. And we said, hey, we got a bad bag of jerky. They say, no problem. We'll send you a new one. And boom, this thing shows up just a few days later. So it's nice that Jack Link's is so easy to work with. I love the quality of their products. We also sell their beef sticks and their beef and cheese combo snacks. And they've been huge sellers for us. So I'm very happy that we sell these guys. We've been doing it since the pandemic started. So what was that, 4 or 5 years ago now, I think? I don't remember. We were going with another company that made a very good product, and the prices were pretty good. And they sold beef jerky in lots of different flavors in a bag slightly smaller than this. This one is a 3.25 ounce bag, and the bags we were getting from the previous company were 2.85 ounces. Cost to us was the same. We retail these for $9. That is the same price as you'll find these in convenience stores. So I feel pretty good if we can give you this for the same price as a brick and mortar store. So the old company, once the pandemic hit, wasn't fulfilling orders like they were. And we were scrambling to find a beef jerky supplier. And we had got samples from, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 different companies, and they're all garbage. Some were just dried up and even worse than shoe leather. It was just impossible to eat some of these. Some had no flavor. Some of the texture was terrible. Like, man, why can't we find a good quality jerky like we were selling that's soft and chewy and moist and flavorful in a good sized bag that we could sell for, $9? And we're looking, and then my wife got the idea to say, why don't we try Jack Link's? I'm like, oh, sure, why not? It's a brand everybody knows, and have an excellent quality product. And we started buying their stuff and have not looked back. Over the years, I've had people suggest other beef jerky companies that they're familiar with, both customers and other tool vendors that I know. But unless someone can offer me a product that is far and away better than Jack Link's in a bag that's at least this size for the same price, I'm going to stay right with these guys because no one has been disappointed in them. The flavors we carry are the black pepper, which is this guy, and we carry jalapeno and original flavor. Between those three flavors, we're covered in the jerky department, and then we have their mild and their hot beef sticks and their jalapeno cheese and sausage packs too. So very happy that we're allied with Jack Link's on this. Great company. Stand by their products, and I love the flavor, and I love that you guys are happy with the brand because if not, I'd have to shop it around. But so far, everyone's been very pleased with the quality we're getting from Jack Link's. I also received a package of June flyers. This is my monthly flyer. I don't normally do a flyer drop on this one because it's pretty small. And I mean, there's plenty of stuff in it. It's a few pages long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages long. And it's pretty big. That's just a 2-page spread right there. It's got some good stuff in it, but there's a lot of repeats between this and my large flyer that I do quarterly, and you've seen the flyer drop videos on those, so I don't normally do a drop on these, but these are great to hand out on a monthly cycle just to keep things fresh in people's minds, and if there is something new that has come out, they put it in this flyer until the printing of the next quarterly flyer. So these are really good to have for a few reasons. The thing that stands out to me most are these lights from Coast. These lights have been great sellers in their original black color, and up until a few months ago, it was the only colors of these that they sold. Well, they're now making them in red and blue, and having a color choice is always great because I just sold the last of what I had on the truck the other day. When someone saw what the colors were, one guy picked up the blue, someone else saw it and he liked it and he picked up the red, and I think I'm all out of those right now. That, by the way, is their XP11R model if you're interested in that. Lifetime warranty on all Coast lights that I have for you. And they have 2 patents. One's a focusing beam. The other is that they run on both rechargeable and alkaline power. So you have a choice in how you run it. And the best part about their warranty process is I just swap it out. You give me the broken, I hand you a new one, and we're square. Unlike Streamlight, I have to send Streamlights into Streamlight. They will repair or replace at their discretion, and that costs me shipping and it costs you time. So if you want an equally good quality product, go with the Coast. This just came back from repair. This is the Milwaukee M18 grease gun. I had a customer give me a broken one. He said it wasn't priming, and honestly, the thing was pretty beat up. So I noticed it was out of its warranty period, so there's a repair cost to it. Compared to the cost of new, he was good paying the repair costs. This one, the cost on the repair is $140. We throw a small markup on it so we can make a few bucks, cover our time in shipping and handling it, and offering the service. So it's well below the cost of buying a new one. So that one only went in, I think, like a week ago, and it just came back. So very fast turnaround on a lot of Milwaukee's repairs, and I got to put that in air quotes because this is just a strict replacement. The nice thing about Milwaukee is they offer flat rate processing for any repair order that you have. So for one price, you can get a new or repaired tool at their discretion, and they have a nice portal you can log into on their website, punch in the part number of the tool, put the serial number in, and it gives you what the repair costs will be. So before you do anything, you know exactly what the costs are going to be. They usually turn things around in a week or two, and it's right back in your hands without missing much time at all. This cute little guy is from Gearwrench. It's a 1/4 drive 90-tooth ratchet non-flex head. One of the handiest ratchets for getting in tight spaces, and because it has their 90-tooth tooth mechanism in there. It has a 4-degree arc swing, so it's good for confined spaces where not only do you need something small to get in there, but if you don't have a lot of room to pivot the ratchet, this is a great option for you. Lifetime warranty on all Gearwrench hardline tools, and I've had some discussions lately about Gearwrench's warranty practices. Now, their policies are very open, and there's no problem ever getting something that hasn't been obviously abused covered under warranty. But some people have been telling me lately that they are not a fan of going through Gearwrench, or rather their parent group, Apex Tool Group, directly if they don't have a dealer near them or a retailer. I've also had some people tell me that they bought stuff on Amazon and it has come to them defective, and they've gone to Gearwrench, and Gearwrench has not been great about handling warranty claims. So I want to give you a quick word of advice on this one. Don't buy this stuff on Amazon. Go to a reputable retailer, a tool truck that you like, a brick and mortar store. Maybe that brick and mortar store has an online store. Use those guys. Don't go to Amazon, because you don't know what you're getting and you don't know from whom you are getting it. A lot of things that people overlook on Amazon is if when you go to the product page on Amazon, over on the right-hand side, next to the yellow buttons to add to your cart, it'll say ships by, sold by. It usually ships from Amazon, but look to see who it's sold by. Chances are you have no idea who that is. And it'll name some company that uses Amazon as their marketplace, and all they do is create a business account, and they become an Amazon seller. I've done it. It's not terribly difficult to do as long as you're a legitimate business. But you don't know what their practices are. And you don't know where they sourced their tools from. It could be that you have someone who got a bunch of stuff that was as wholesale to them as defective. It could be someone stole a pallet's worth of stuff from a big box store and sold it to a buddy of theirs, and they're trying to liquidate these things and just turn that into money. You don't know who's selling this stuff on Amazon. So my word of advice to you is don't run that risk of dealing with them at all, because I've had people tell me they've received bent wrenches. I've had people tell me they've received bent long Torx bits, and they can't go back to the seller because the seller can't be found anywhere. They can return stuff to Amazon if they want, but once that 30-day window goes, you can't do that anymore. So then you're stuck with defective tools. If you buy from a reputable retailer, you can take them back to that retailer and you can say, hey man, these are no good. And they'll say, fine, we'll swap out with a good one for you. And that's if you happen to get something defective out of the box. Chances are you're not going to get something defective from a reputable store because they buy through legitimate channels. Unlike someone selling on Amazon that might be buying from who knows where, or defective stuff that fell out of a truck or fell off a shipping container and got damaged, you're pretty safe in knowing that the stuff you're going to buy from a good store is going to be top quality. You're going to pay more for it? Yes, you will. And you're going to have to decide if that is worth it to you. But the peace of mind you get from knowing that you bought something that's premium quality, and you'll get premium service because the retailer who sold it to you should be providing you full service. You just got to pay for that. And that is to be expected, and that's fair. So you might save $1 on Amazon, but you might not be getting exactly what you wanted. And unfortunately, I promise, you'll get what you pay for. I think I showed this to you recently in another tool haul. I don't know if I took it out of the box. I could have been lazy. In this high quality nylon roll-up pouch is the Astro 16-piece punch and chisel set. Let me show you. In it is 3 cold chisels, 5 pin punches, 2 center punches, 5 tapered punches, and a chisel punch gauge. That's the gauge on the very end. Outstanding set for the money. I think on the truck it's costing $45 or somewhere in that vicinity. Not much, $50 maybe. I can't tell you that there's a better one for the money. I really can't. Are there better punch and chisel sets? I don't know. I mean, it's just steel that's been formed and forged and machined, and there's plenty of other punch and chisel brands out there that are also very good. I'm a big fan of Mayhew, but their stuff's way more expensive. The big difference is that they have lifetime warranties on their stuff, and the Astro ones don't carry warranty. And again, it's because you're paying for that with the other brands. If you want to save yourself a whole bunch of money, you're going to be giving up the warranty. Again, that's fair. As long as you know going in. Then you can make that decision that's best for you and your budget. Are you going to be really hard on your tools and maybe you're going to want to take advantage of that warranty? Maybe. Maybe it's going to be an occasional use item for you and you're just fine paying the money for the Astro set because you know the odds of you having to file a warranty claim are going to be pretty low. So for most people, most of the time, this is an excellent option. It's the reason why I keep this one on the truck and I don't put on the truck with, say, a Mayhew set or a set from SK or some other brands. Because if that sat on the shelf next to this Astro one, people are going to choose the Astro one every time. Same thing with the Coast and Streamlight lights. If I put Coast and Streamlight on the same shelf, people are going to choose Coast all the time. It's why I stopped carrying most Streamlight products on the truck. It's why I carry this on the truck instead of a lot of other brands. And this is a restock because this sells regularly. And people are very happy with it. No one has ever reported that there's breakage on these. I don't know anyone who's had a problem with them. I've asked for lots of feedback just to gauge the quality of this product. And everyone's told me the same thing. No, they're great. Love it. And it's the best one they could get for the money. More from Gearwrench. This is their 2-piece ratchet kit that's got their long reach 3/8 and their long reach quarter drive. 18-inch long 3/8 and a 9-inch long quarter drive. These are terrific when you need extra leverage or you have to reach way into something to get to that nut or bolt. These have the 120 XP mechanism, so there's a 3-degree swing arc, so they're way better for tight confines. And if you need to reach for the leverage, these are the ones to get. Lifetime warranty on these. I just replace the head mechanisms if those break, or if the handle breaks, I'll just give you a new one. You give me your broken one. I love these a lot for a lot of reasons. They're such a good seller because they fill such a great niche in the market, and they're doing it for a ton less money than you would find on the Snap-on or Matco trucks. I think this set is $115, where you price that out on some other tool truck and see what their prices are going for. And I think you'll find that the Gearwrench price on an independent truck like mine or like Mark DeSashin from Mid-Atlantic Tools, I'm going to go ahead and guess, Mark, I'm sure you're watching, that you also carry this 2-piece set. And tell me if it hasn't been a good seller for you and what your feedback is on it, because I love having it on the truck. Another one from K-Tool. This is their 4-piece magnetic toolbox tray set. It has a small tray, a large tray, a tray for cans, and there's smaller holes up front that you can put things like screwdrivers in, and then there is this towel roll holder. Not all guys use it for towel rolls. Some guys turn this up on end so the spindles are facing up and they can dry their boots, their gloves, hang their jackets on it. I know there's lots of different uses for those than just putting a roll of towels on them. Great set. The magnets are super strong, so they'll hold a lot of weight. They're not going to just accidentally fall off. Oh, I got to tell you a story. So I sold one of these sets to a guy, I don't know, years ago. And he said to me, hey, the magnets fell off my tray. Can you help me? I said, sure. I said, let me grab it from you. And I took a look, and they have these 4, large magnets on the back of the longer tray, and 2 of them have popped off. Because on the factory, I don't know how they put them on there. It's with an adhesive that sometimes it wears out. So I said, yeah, give it to me. I said, I'll epoxy them back on for you. And he said, no, I already did that. Now, I know this guy pretty well. I've known him for a long time. So I know that I have to ask some additional questions. I said, you epoxied them back on? He says, yes. It's a good thing I know this guy as well as I do, because I said, so you used epoxy? And he goes, no. I said, what'd you use? He said, glue. I said, give it to me. So I take it, I bring it back home here in my shop, and I use Gorilla epoxy, the 2-part epoxy that mix together. I have used that not just on K-Tool ones, but on other brands where the magnets might pop off. I've used it a number of times over the years. It holds super strong. I've never had a repeat problem with it, so I fixed that up for him, gave it back to him, and he's happy with it. So I just thought that was an interesting little story where knowing your customers, is really important because it helps you kind of get to the bottom of these little conversations sometimes, and it adds a little bit of humor to the day, especially when when you kind of push the conversation a little bit to get to the small details, and you can find out what's really going on. It's fun, and my customer is a great guy, terrific sense of humor, and he kind of laughed after we got that conversation done. But I had a chance to fix that up for him and get it back to him last week. More Coast lights. These are their headlamps. This is the XPH34R. Has the same features as those other lights I showed you in the monthly flyer. Focusing beam by turning this bezel in the front. And it has dual power. So you can pop the battery pack out and put in regular AAA alkaline batteries if you want to. And this guy has lumen rating of 2075, and you have it on its turbo mode, so it gets really bright. Most of the time, you're not going to need a headlamp that gets that bright if you're just doing work under a car. But if you're doing things outside at night, maybe you go camping, maybe you're fishing, any other outdoor activities, this guy is rugged, lifetime warranty. It'll put up with a lot. So use it like you stole it and get the most for your money out of these things. They're great quality lights. I love them a lot. One spectacular customer that I have is the guy named Ryan Moores. Ryan, you might be watching this. So I bought these for you because you asked me for a 1/4-inch set and a 3/8 set of chrome swivel sockets. You also asked me for a 1/2-inch set. I'm still shopping those to try to find a good one for you. But the reason why I settled on these for you is because you get really good quality at a pretty nice price. Both of these sets combined, $260. Compare that to just the cost of a 3/8 drive set on another tool truck, or just the cost of the one. I haven't priced them out on other tool trucks in a long time, but you'll pay hundreds of dollars just for one of these. They all have basically the same design. They all have a pin that holds the socket together, and the socket rotates around that pin. That pin's going to break. Yes, it breaks on every brand. It doesn't matter what one it is. Or it'll get floppy over time. It's all covered under warranty with Gearwrench, so I can take care of that for you. No problem. So if you're going to have the same breakage issues, or you're going to have the same performance issues, and you can have the same warranty, why would you spend 3 times the price on one of these when you can get this one at a fraction of the price? And, again, I'm giving you tool truck pricing. If you don't have a tool truck that comes by you with Gearwrench and you want to buy Gearwrench somewhere, find a good retailer like I talked about earlier. Avoid Amazon, and you'll find you can get these for even less than what I'm selling them for on the truck. So these are terrific options for folks that are budget conscious, or if you just don't like spending stupid money on something that you can buy an equally good alternative for. You've seen me show you this a lot, but it's been selling so much I've been restocking it. This is the Power Probe 3 diagnostic tool. I don't know a ton about the different models because this one sells so much. I honestly haven't learned much about the other models, because when somebody says I want a power probe, this is usually the one they mean. One of my viewers gave me the tip that the Power Probe 3EZ is a bit simpler to use because it can walk you through some diagnostic tests, and I think that's a really cool feature. There is a Power Probe 4, which is way more complicated than this because it does more things. So if you're looking for a basic diagnostic tool that does a few things really, really well, this is the Power Probe 3, and look at the Power Probe 3EZ and compare the features between them. This one is easy to use. You just hook it up to power, and it's a DC voltmeter. The LED lights on the top here light up. Whoops. On the top here light up, and tells you if there's bad ground, short circuit, and it tests relays and components, and it has a great audible tone. So you can blindly test things like fuses and relays and check for continuity. You can bench test components by injecting 12-volt power into them, which makes troubleshooting way easier than if you couldn't do that. And if you're checking computer subsystems with this, you just pop this probe off, pull it out, and you can insert a 5-volt step-down adapter, plug that into the tool, take this probe, plug it in there. Now you're putting out 5 volts, so you don't fry computer subsystems. I tell you, I've been reordering these things every week because they've been selling like crazy lately. These are the Milwaukee hammers. These are their soft-faced and their hard-faced dead blows. This is the ball peen style. This is the mallet style. Both have flats on the heads, so you can stand these things straight up and look down on them to see what the size is, because they stamp that in the handle. They have a hole in the handle for a hanging loop or lanyard. a great non-slip handle. And you get a ton of leverage with these because the handle's kind of long. And I shared, I think in my last tool haul video, as a matter of fact, a little feature that one of my customers told me about, because we were talking about the Mac anti-vibe hammers, and Mac's hammers have always been very, very good. I've been a big fan of them for years myself, and I always kind of had to tip my hat to Mac for selling such a great hammer. Well, Milwaukee comes out with these things, pricing's really good on them, and people have been buying these up like crazy. So I'm talking about this with a guy who bought, I think, all 4 of their different sizes that I had on the truck at the time. And we were talking about the Mac hammers, and he said he really likes them. He says, but, he says, there's one advantage that these have that the Mac ones don't. I'm like, what is it? And he said, on the anti-vibe hammers from Mac, from about here on up, the handle gets very, very thin. And he said it's not comfortable to hold if you have to choke up on it and use it to lightly tap something. He says these are much more comfortable to hold for longer periods if you need a finer control to your work. And I said, that is a terrific selling point. Thank you for letting me know. So I'm sharing it with you guys because it's those kinds of things that show you just how good the engineering is in something like this, even if you may not know about it beforehand. You'll find out as you get to use these, and it's one of these features that they don't tout. They don't have it written on a feature card somewhere like on here, like they do with the flats and the stamping and everything else. But man, once you know about it and you gravitate toward that feature of these, you'll find that it's much more pleasurable to use, and you'll be able to take your work up another level because it'll be a little more refined in how you go about doing your job. These are the hose removal pliers from Lyle. Very simple pliers. You just put that V-notch in between the connectors, squeeze the handle, pops them off. You can use these for truck airlines because you can put a vice grip clamped to the airline just below the connector, slide this in between, and then pull the handles and you'll pop the connector off. So these have multiple purposes, and I'm a big fan of these because the guys that work for one of my waste companies that I service buy them all the time. One of the supervisors there first told me about them. I'm like, well, okay, I'll get them on the truck. And he said, yeah, man, he says, always have these on the truck because my guys will buy them. He told me that about 8 years ago, and I have never looked back. I've been restocking these regularly. And the reason why you say, well, why are you selling so many tools to the same guys? I'm not. There's just a high turnover in the trash industry, unfortunately, for mechanics. So when a new guy comes in, this is one of the tools that they're encouraged to buy from their supervisor and their coworkers. And I always make sure that I've got at least a couple. Every now and again, I like to switch things up, and I've been a big fan of Gearwrench's screwdrivers for many years. Their 20-piece master set is a regular inventory item for me, and I keep that on the truck all the time, and currently there's no exception to that. It's one of the best, most affordable 20-piece master sets I have found. But if you need a smaller set, you can save yourself a few bucks if you shop around and look at some different brands. So I'm looking at Sunex to see what their 8-piece screwdriver set is like. So I bought one of these, and I'll show you what the set is like. It comes in a nice plastic tray. And this is my first time looking at this myself. This is the first time I took it out of the package. This is their number 2 Phillips, and it marks on the butt what it is for easy identification when you have it in your holder. A nice fluted handle for easy grip, and you get a lot of torque on this handle because it's a softer rubber, so you can actually feel it give in your hands a little bit. Has a hole for hanging if you need it, and a hex bolster, so if you need extra leverage, you put a wrench on these bolsters, so while you've got this thing on your screw head, you can also torque it around with a wrench. You may not have known that. A lot of guys do not know what that bolster feature is for, and that's what it is for. So this guy comes with stubby slotted and Phillips, a number 1, 2, and 3 Phillips bits. Same handle design on all of them, by the way. And 3 different slotted screwdriver tips rather. And you'll notice something interesting here. One of these things is not like the others. Try to focus here so you can see what that is. Note, if you will, the tip design. You have this style here. It flares out and goes back in. This flares out and goes back in. And this does not. So these two are called keystone style screwdrivers because the shape of that tip is shaped like a keystone when you see in an arch, right? Or like Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. This one, because the sides of the tip are parallel, is called a cabinet screwdriver. It's a cabinet tip. And this is used for as going in recesses in cabinets and being able to turn a screw that way because the keystone style would flare out too much and you can't fit them. I will confess, I do not know what the advantage is to the keystone design over the cabinet design. So if you know, please chime in. I'd love to know what this gets you. Maybe it's just more strength. I don't know. But usually you're not going to break the tip up here. You're going to break the very end of the tip when that breaks. So I don't know what the keystone design gets you. I'd love for you to weigh in because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there with more knowledge and experience on these than I've got. So please let the comments flow. This is a different two-piece ratchet set from Gearwrench. The differences with this one and the one I showed you are these are flex heads. You can see how there's a tooth mechanism there. See easier on this one, tooth mechanism there. And these are locking. Now the difference between these and other locking ratchet designs is there is no lever that you switch back and forth to unlock it. There's a push button. You push it from one side, it locks it. Push it out from the other side, it unlocks it. And the heads on these are very narrow, so it's a slimmer profile design. These have been kind of popular. It used to be for a while that if I sold you the two-piece set, I couldn't get the pieces individually. I had to swap out the set for you if you broke one of them. Because they don't make head repair kits for these. I don't know why. But now they're available individually. That's great. I feel better about selling them now because they're easier to service, whereas before they were not as easy because sometimes they were on back order or whatever the case was. So as long as it's easy for me, I can make it easy for you, and that's the name of the game. Another one from Astro. This is their digital tire inflator. This one's blue. They have one in green. It has a couple of swanky features. One of them is extremely nice strain relief here and this great braided cable hose thing. Hose. Braided hose is beautiful, and it comes with a lock-on chuck. Very nice features. These take AAA batteries, so you don't need to futz with those watch-style batteries. You just peel back the cover here, access the battery door. Easy to read, large display with a backlight. And I was mistaken. I had given out some information years ago. I thought that these were the same as the Blue Point ones, and someone corrected me to say, no, these are the same as the Matco ones. These are made by Milton. I thought they were made by a different company. But as far as I can tell, I try to verify all the information that I get. So if someone says, if I'm giving you information, it's because I verified it as best I could at the time. It's entirely possible that I was wrong, or I got bad information, or maybe I wasn't as diligent as I should have been, and someone will correct me. I like that. I need that because it keeps good information flowing, and I want to be known for quality information. So when somebody says to me, hey, you're wrong about that, this is the truth, I say, oh, okay, thanks. And what I do immediately is I try to verify that information too. So as far as I can tell, that is correct. These are in fact made by Milton or the same company that makes them for Milton. I don't know, but these are very similar, if not identical, to ones from Milton's. They are very high quality. I've only ever had one problem with one of them one time. It's when someone dropped it in a drain pan. So under normal use, they're fine. You can't expect them to survive that kind of treatment, and it didn't, of course. But Astro helped make it right, and I think we paid some small fee, and they swapped it for a new one, and it was taken care of. So it was worth it. I like the way Astro does business. I'm a big fan of a lot of their products. I showed you the punch and chisel set earlier. I'm a big fan of their angle die grinders under their Onyx brand. and I love their carbide burrs. So Astro is my go-to for a lot of things. Oh, especially those nano sockets. Those things are just super nice. So I go to Astro for a lot of things, and they fill a great niche in specialty tools. I got things scattered in different boxes. I did not see this at the time. This is another of the 4 different styles of Milwaukee hammers that are available. So this is the 3rd one. Same features as the other one. This is just a heavier version of the soft face dead blow. This is the 48-ounce version. And I expect that, given how things are going, I'm going to be showing you this a bunch of times over the next few weeks because these seem to sound like hotcakes lately. I don't know why. It must be something in the water. My buddy Ryan that I told you about earlier with the swivel sockets also asked me for line wrench style or flare nut style crow's feet. And for those, I go to Sunex because their pricing is so darn good. So much better than what you can get a metric 3/8 drive set of line wrench crow's feet for from almost any other company, certainly from any other tool truck. Shop it around and compare. This one is $62. I almost feel funny saying that because I know that these are far more on other tool trucks under their brands. You can't go wrong with Sunex. Lifetime warranty on all their hardline tools. And it's very easy for me or for you to take care of warranties. Either I go through my distributor where I just give you a new one, you give me the old one. Or you can go through the Sunex Sun Express program. Online, you fill out a form on their website. I think you send a picture into your broken tool and they'll send you a new one. How easy is that? Thank you, Sunex. I don't know if there's a more popular set of wrenches than this 5-piece double-ended ratcheting flex head spline drive wrench set. This is the one from K-Tool. You've seen these under different brands. You've seen them under Mountain. You've seen them under Cornwell, Matco, Monster from way back when they had those. These are the same wrenches that are all made by the same manufacturer. I forget the name of the manufacturer. Somebody catch me on this. Is it Sabo or Cabo or Blabo? I don't remember. It's a Chinese company, I think, or Taiwanese company that makes these. Taiwan company makes these. Very high quality. The best feature on these is, I'll show you because the package is open. The best feature on these is this offset here because it gives you extra clearance. So you can use them flat and still get some clearance if you need it. You can flex the head, but then if you don't have the clearance this way, this at least gives you clearance that might just be a lifesaver. And they're reversible by hitting this button on either side of the head. Different size on either end. Awesome sellers. I love these a lot, and I love them because you love them, and they sell all the time. And the price on these is, I think, about half of what you'll find them for, say, on the Matco truck. I know their prices are kind of high on them, and I've had a bunch of guys tell me over the years how much they were. I think the last price I had on them, someone told me his Matco guy was asking like $500 or something. Ridiculous price for these. I mean, they're not cheap. Even on my truck under the K-Tool brand, they're still a few $100, but they're not that expensive. Oh, and yeah, they put a lifetime warranty on them. So, like everything else, you just give me a broken one, I'll hand you a new one. They're readily available individually, so that's easy for me to do. And it's one of the reasons why I gravitate toward this brand instead of the other ones. I have shown you these in the past, but the cool thing about the Cyclops lights from Maxeon is that I can buy them through a distributor now, though I could not do that before. I had to buy directly from Maxeon. They were great to work with, but it's just simpler and a little more streamlined for me to go through one source. So I can now get these from the same distributor where I get most of my other stuff from. These obviously are the yellow ones, but they come in green, blue, red, and orange as well. And these are $52 or thereabouts right now on the truck. They have a swivel magnetic base, and on the base is also a 1/4-20 threaded mount, so you can put them on a tripod if you want. They're pretty nice and bright, easy to use up close for inspection work. And the nice thing about the bright yellow color is they're easier to see, so you lower your odds of your customer driving out of the shop with this hanging onto their car. All right, pop quiz. Diesel guys, just hold the phone for a second. Why do I carry 1 5/16 1/2-inch drive 6-point sockets from Sunex? These are the deep drive ones. because truck lug nuts are this size. Why is it 1/2-inch drive, you ask? Well, that's a good question. Most guys have 1/2-inch guns. Most guys don't have 3/4 or 1-inch guns, and you really do need high torque to take off some of these lug nuts if they have not been torqued down properly. And the odds of them being over-torqued when the last guy who worked on it tightened them down is pretty good. Usually, I've seen tire guys slam these things on with 1-inch guns, and they way over-torque them because what's the torque spec on a lug nut for a large truck? I think it's about 450 foot-pounds. Someone check me on that. Might be 475, but it's right in that area there. And that should be fairly easy to take off with a 1/2-inch gun because even the strong 1/2-inch guns are rated about 1,300 foot-pounds of torque. So someone slamming this on with a 1-inch gun, they might be tightening this down to 1,700 foot-pounds. That's ridiculous. You don't need it that much. So for most guys, the 1/2-inch ones are great. And these sell all the time to the guys that I service in truck and bus shops. Another one from K-Tool. This is the Damaged Torx Screw Extractor set. It has a bunch of different bits, all made for extracting Torx screws that have damaged heads. You can see they come in a plastic case of varying sizes. Chances are pretty good they'll fit a damaged screw that you have. And it's cheap. It's like $35 or something, right around there for that set. When it comes to extracting screws and nuts and bolts and things, no one tool is going to be best for every extraction scenario that you're going to come across. So it's going to pay for you to have multiple options readily available. And this is just one of those options because some bits just fit better than others. Some just work better than others. Given the situation and the type of screw, the kind of metal it is, what's causing it to need to be extracted in the first place, all play into what tool is going to be the best choice for that job. These are great to have in a toolbox with all your other extractors, just in case. This one's in the package, so I don't want to take it out and show you because I have to deliver this to a customer. Let's see if I can show it to you through the package. That is a highly specialized tool. This is from Schley. Schley makes nothing but specialized tools. And this is specifically to rotate flywheels on a Cummins 5.9 liter engine. That's it. That's all it does. That's all it's made for. It's really kind of important if you need it. And it's not cheap. But when you got to have it, you got to have it. This one's $71.50. I have seen them from other companies where they're way more money, suspiciously expensive. And I'm not talking other trucks. I'm talking through my distributors. So Schley is the brand that I gravitate toward because their pricing is so good. Their quality is very high. All they make are specialized tools. So when you were able to narrow your focus a little bit, your quality tends to go up. And I love a lot of the products that Schley puts out. One of my customers sent me a text message with a photo attached to it from my flyer. And I love it when people do that because it makes it so easy. And he said, can you get this for me if you don't have it on the truck? And it is this set of Sunex combination wrenches. The sizes on this set run 1/4 inch through 1 1/4 inches. And these are the polished raised panel with the textured body. Open end, box end, pretty standard. There's no swanky features on the open end like anything to grip bolt heads or anything, but it's a very functional set. So my customer sends me this picture. And the first thing I had to do was verify that that was the correct price in the flyer. There have been misprints before, and guys have gotten some particularly good deals because the prices were misprinted. But I double-checked this one, and the price is $86.28. I mean, come on, $86.28 for that, for all those wrenches. Come on. Lifetime warranty? Yep. Replace them if one breaks, no questions asked. Find that deal on another tool truck. That's why I love Sunex so much. Their stuff is so affordable, and it's all premium grade. You don't need the big brains in your toolbox to do the great work that an accomplished technician can do. And honestly, I would say it's a problem if for some reason the tools were substandard and were holding you back if you were developing as a technician, but these won't. These are really good wrenches. So go ahead and spend the money where you want, but good Lord, save yourself a ton of money by buying a wrench set this size on the tool truck. Get tool truck level service and pay a fraction of the price that similar wrenches would cost you on another tool truck. So in that same text message from that same customer was another picture of another wrench set from Sonex. This is the metric set that runs from 7mm all the way up to 19mm. And guess how much this one cost? Guess. $45.49. It's ridiculous. The money that you're going to save. I'm sorry, did I say these were Sonex? Oh my God, was I lying to you? Oh, K-Tool. I'm so sorry. I screwed that up so bad. I don't want to go back and reshoot. So, mid-course correction. But when I showed you that first set, you're probably yelling at me saying, it's K-Tool, you moron. It's not Sonex. All right. Now that I'm done feeling stupid, and I'm not going to go back and reshoot this, from K-Tool. I hate when I make mistakes like that. All right. But all the same things are true that I told you as if they were Sonex. Lifetime warranty on them. Easy to get them replaced. Compare the prices to other tool trucks. You're going to find a great value with the K-Tool brand. I showed you those wrenches just a little bit ago. Same thing. These are very high quality, made by the same companies that make lots of tools for lots of other companies. I don't know who manufactures these specifically, but they're made because it's a private label brand. It's one manufacturer that makes wrenches for lots of companies and just slap a different brand on it depending on who they're shipping it to. And that's all K-Tool is. So you get some very high quality stuff and you save yourself a ton of money because they buy such large volume. Cat's Paw Picks from Mayhew. Mayhew makes a lot of their stuff in the USA. These picks are not, though. These are made in Taiwan. 4 mini picks, comfort handles, straight 90-degree angle and curve pick on there. Lifetime warranty. And here's what I just found out about warrantying these guys. Depending on what the product is and what the manufacturer's criteria is for doing warranty replacements, sometimes you can swap out individual ones. Sometimes you have to swap out the entire set. On these, we have to replace the entire set. So if one of these breaks, I got to get you a whole new set. So you just give me the set, and I get credit for those when I send them in, and I'll give you a whole brand new set. So that's how Mayhew does it with these picks in particular. Not all their products, just some of them. And the reason for that is because Mayhew, if they don't make them themselves, and I don't know if they own a manufacturing facility in Taiwan, I suspect they don't. And I suspect that they have contracted the manufacturing of this to a Taiwanese manufacturer because of that reason. So normally what happens is this. If you're Mayhew, you order these and you're going to get all these sent to you. What you're not going to get shipped to you is individual pieces. They're all going to come in this packaging. And this is that blister pack that's impossible to open. So what you're not going to do is keep what's called open stock. So you're not going to keep a bunch of these packages open with individual ones that you're anticipating swapping out. It's easier for you, if you're Mayhew, just to swap out the entire thing. There's less hassle for you, and it makes it easier on me. Hopefully it makes it easier on you as a customer, but that's the way they do it, and that's why. I don't know of too many brands that have long hex bit sockets with a straight end. Most of them have a ball end, and Gearwrench is no exception to that. And I'm buying this for a customer who asked me specifically for this because he needed a 6mm for a project he was working on. And he said, you know, I might as well get the whole set. I said to him, actually, yeah, because at the price difference between like the whole set and one of them, while if you source it from Gearwrench, it's going to be a significant enough difference. But if you can justify buying the set, buy the set, because this whole set here is $109. Comes with the rail, lifetime warranty on the bit sockets. This one ranges from 3mm to 10mm. If you're doing valve lash adjustments on heavy trucks, you're going to need a feeler gauge set for that. This angled feeler gauge set from Lang is dirt cheap and high quality. No skips in the sizes. And I'm a fan of these because they only cost 22 bucks. Compare that to larger sets. Now, Lang has some more expensive sets. They have ones that you have the ability to change out the blades and screw them into a handle. These don't have that, but for 22 bucks, you can get by if you want. If you want the more expensive ones with the nice little handles, you can get them, but they're over $100. They're strangely expensive, but it's a high quality set. But this is the one I always keep on the truck because the price is so affordable. People will say, I just need a set of feeler gauges. Boom, this is the one that they get. I like CRKT knives a lot. CRKT stands for Columbia River Knife and Tool Company. They make terrific knives, lifetime warranties on them, and they have some really cool features. I had a customer who specifically wanted this one from CRKT. This is their Carson M16 series, and this is specifically their Special Forces version. So it comes in a cool flat dark earth color, and it has a nice serration on the blade. These serrations are from a guy named something. Oh, I was hoping to be slick and just go right into his name. His last name is Veff. Tom Veff. He has developed these serrations himself, and he has his own shop up in Portland, I believe, or somewhere in Oregon. And you can send him knives for sharpening, or he'll put these serrations on your knife for you. He has licensed this design to companies like CRKT. So they put the Veff serrations on some of their knives. Has a Tonto blade in the front. That's that angle there, as opposed to the drop blade, which is curved. This one is pretty cool because you can cut straight down on something by dragging it that way, or moving your knife, of course, conventionally. And then you have your serrations for more aggressive cutting. This is the unassisted opener with a liner lock. The lock is there in the liner of the knife. And and it has a safety on it too, so you can't do what I was just trying to do. So you pull your safety down, and then you can open your lock and close your knife. And it has the flipper ears on it, so you can quickly and easily open this one-handed. And their pivots are so good on their knives, you're not going to miss that it's not spring assisted. You can very easily operate these with one hand, unassisted. They're terrific knives. Love them a lot. The only thing they don't cover under warranty is breakage to the tip, because they say this is a cutting tool, it is not a prying tool, and if the tip breaks, we know why it happened. So be warned, they will cover this for anything but a broken tip. You lose the pocket clip, they'll cover it. Screws fall out, they cover it. You have breakage somewhere in the mechanism, they cover it. They're very good about handling warranties. You can go through them yourself, or I can do it for you. We've done it in the past, although I will admit we don't get a lot of breakage on these because they're pretty high quality. And people, generally speaking, take good care of their knives. This is the micro drill set with a driver from Titan. These are great for cleaning out carb jets and welder nozzles and a bunch of other applications you might have. You make a tiny hole in something. These are great. You just put the bits in the collet of the end of the driver, and you can swivel it around pretty easily in your hand to make tiny little holes or clear out tiny little things. All different orifices can be cleaned out with these, and they're great all-around handy little set. This is the Master BoltBiter set from Gearwrench. 28 pieces of sockets of all varying sizes that you can use to extract bolts that are stripped, damaged, or stuck in there, and your other methods wouldn't work. Give these a try. Let me show you the features on these and why I think they are the best option when it comes to bolt extractors. First of all, the fluting in here is straight. Why can't I get a good light angle for you? I'm surrounded by lights. Hold on. Man, trust me, they're straight. They're not twisted. That means you can use these. There, you can kind of see it there. This means that you can use these in forward or reverse. Why is that important? Because you can extract left-handed bolts with them, but in a pinch, if you have to reuse a bolt, you can tighten them with these too. How handy is that? They have a hex bolster on them, so you can grab them with a wrench, And they have a square drive hole so you can use them with a ratchet or a breaker bar. These are also impact rated so you can use them with an impact tool. They've got you covered when it comes to all different ways of using these. Another great feature is that in their master set, their sizes have 2 different sizes. So this is their 19 metric and 3/4 imperial socket. Notice it's right next to a 19 minus and 3/4 minus socket. That is because if you've rounded the head off of a nut or a bolt, chances are a 19, for example, won't fit because it's going to be too large. These guys will fit if you use the minus size because it's slightly smaller and it's intended to fit. The bolt heads that have been rounded off where a regular size wouldn't fit. And they do that for lots of the sizes in this set, all the way down to a 1/4 inch. So these cover both standard and metric sizes, 28 pieces on a nice plastic rail. They're not cheap. They're a little pricey. This set costs $309.99. And you might be saying, hey, how about the grip edge sockets? Okay, let's talk about grip edge for a second. For a while, they were making their products exclusively for Mac Tools. And Mac was selling them under the RBRT brand name. And they're very good. I'm not going to say one bad thing about them. I know guys who own them and they love them. And they would swear by them. And the nice feature that they had was they had a push screw that you could use to push through the back of the socket and push out a stuck bolt or nut that was wedged in there. And you're going to find that's the case because when you're dealing with damaged heads like that and you have to extract them, you're going to use some force. They're going to get stuck in your sockets. Fair enough. And people ask me if I carried them when the exclusivity arrangement that Mac had with Grip Edge expired. Because Grip Edge started selling through one other distribution channel. And it was a company I had an account with, but I never dealt with them. I never bought anything because it wouldn't be very efficient to buy from just one company like that. So I didn't put any on the truck. And I know I referred to Mark the Sashin earlier. He's been carrying them. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he told me that he puts those on the truck right beside the Grip Edge, right beside the BoltBiters, and lets his customers choose. That's awesome. And it got even easier now that Grip Edge is no longer selling exclusively through a distributor. They're now selling through my biggest distributor, so I can get their stuff through those guys too. So I may very well start to do that. But my understanding between the two products from those brands are, when it comes to their regular extractor sockets like these, the only difference is that screw extractor that the Grip Edge ones come with and these don't. That's okay. You can just put these in a vise and punch them out with a puncher and a hammer if you have to. So it's just a matter of whether or not they have something that's an additional feature than these. And I don't know enough about the Grip Edge lineup to know how different their line is from the BoltBiter line. BoltBiter is not restricted to just these sockets. They have nut drivers. They also have wrench inserts, so you can take a BoltBiter insert and put it in the box end of your wrench and use that. So they have some additional offerings that haven't been quite as popular as this bolt extractor set. This is by far the most popular product in their lineup, so it's the one I always keep on the truck. This one is going to a customer who used someone else's in the shop that he bought from me a while back, and he asked me to get him one too. So it's great when guys have a chance to use this stuff in real life. They can see just how good it is, and then they want more. And I love when sales get rolling that way because it makes it a lot easier for me because I don't actually have to do any of the selling. I just let guys in the shop do it, and the products speak for themselves. These have lifetime warranties on them, so they're very easy to swap out if I ever have to. And I think in all the years I've been selling BoltBiter brand extractor sockets, I think I took care of one time under warranty. The others are holding up extremely well, and I've been very happy with their performance when they're in the hands of my customers. Keep watching the channel. I've got bunches of stuff coming down the line. We've got more air tool repair videos. We're going to have more tools in the hall after dark segments as we get some handguns coming in. And of course, we're going to have more tools in the hall videos. And it's going to be the end of June soon, which means we're going to also have another flyer drop video. So do me a favor, click down here now to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, use a tool. Don't be one.